Okay, hello everybody. Whew. What a bumpy start to today. Not that it was any fault of mine or any fault of anyone else's, here on the stream. There was nothing we could really do. Today is Friday, May 26th, 2017, folks. I'm Darkside Phil, of course. Welcome to today's gameplay stream. Originally, I have two streams here lined up, but honestly, I don't know what the streams are going to end up being because of the tumultuous start to the day that we've had. Okay, if you're not aware, today we were supposed to be playing Friday the 13th here together live on stream. I wanted to check out this game, game that's been in development for a while, and everyone's been hearing and talking about it. It was actually supposed to come out originally last year in October. And for whatever reason, the game got massively delayed. Then come to find out, the game originally was just supposed to be online multiplayer of Jason versus, say, camp counselors who were trying to team up to survive against him. But I guess there was so much demand for the game that the game developers decided they would eventually release a single-player campaign. But then they decided that they wanted to release the game sooner rather than later, so they announced that the multiplayer would launch early, and then I guess the single player will be released later on. If you've bought the game, you'll get it for free. I don't know if they've promised an actual release date or anything for the single player content yet. So, right now, folks, today there is only multiplayer for Friday the 13th. And I didn't know if I was going to do two streams of it today or what. It all depends on how fun it is and how interesting it is. From what I'm to understand, Jason is incredibly overpowered, but that's on purpose. He has all these abilities, supernatural abilities, and ways to kill you. While the survivors are pretty weak, but apparently if the survivors communicate via voice chat, they can coordinate their efforts to kind of survive, okay? And interact and say, oh, I'm over here, maybe we all have items, we could beat up Jason with them or something. I don't know, because I haven't played it yet, so I have absolutely no idea what the actual, gameplay is going to be yet. I actually had, thanks to a viewer, I got access to the PC beta of this game, but the game would not run properly on my PC. I tried to run it, and it would crash. So I have not had any opportunity to check it out yet. I saw a few videos of, Jason brutally murdering camp counselors, but that's about it. So, that being said, folks, this stream will be me exploring the multiplayer of Friday the 13th. Hopefully the game's decent. I don't know. I've heard conflicting things. Some people are saying when you play it online, it's really fun. Other people are like, there's no content. There's only 3 maps and 1 game mode, and it's a joke of a game, and they can't believe that this is even being sold. So when you hear those conflicting stories, it's kind of like, well, I guess it all depends on your personal tastes. So I guess we're going to see today firsthand what the game is all about. So let's see, folks. If the game is good, maybe I'll play it both streams today. If we play it this first stream and it's kind of like, meh, then maybe later tonight I'll do some Persona. I'm totally okay with that. So we'll play it by ear today and we'll see what happens, alright? Now, as I am streaming Friday the 13th today, another session of Injustice 2 multiplayer is going to go live on DSPGaming. These are the videos from Wednesday. It's the next to last session of multiplayer gameplay that I did in Injustice 2. So Injustice 2 videos will continue to go live. I still have 2 sets, one for today and one for another day, that are going to be going live over the next couple of days. So, yes, if you are still looking for your Injustice 2 fix, those videos, will continue to be going, uploading on DSPGaming, for a little bit here at least. Tomorrow, folks, is a marathon. That's right. Tomorrow I will be doing the patrons exclusive Twitch and Chill event where I will be playing Jackbox Party Pack with patrons for a few hours. And then I'll switch it over and I'll actually open it up to the common public so that it could be like patrons versus the world kind of a challenge in Jackbox. I think that'll be pretty fun. Something different at least, you know, something to break it up because I've been doing so much Injustice recently. It's good that I'm getting a few days away from it now for sure. Thank you to, thanks Unoriginal David. He says that he watched my Injustice 2 review and he liked it. Yes, if you're not aware, folks, last night I released my Injustice 2 review over on my YouTube channel, KO Gaming. That's the channel where I put up edited style videos and reviews and montages and stuff. It's youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. Yeah, after playing the game for a straight week and playing all the different modes, I decided to finally review the game. So hopefully you'll check out the review if you have not yet. It is now live, okay? And then, you know, Sunday and Monday are kind of up in the air. I'm kind of purposely leaving them open because I don't know what's going to happen with this game Friday the 13th and if I'm going to feel like playing it again or not. There's always the possibility I could go back to this game for a stream. Or maybe I will go back to Injustice and do something different. Maybe I could do the Guild Multiverse mode. If you're not aware, we have a guild, the King of Hate Guild, in Injustice 2. So far we have like a dozen members and growing. At least last time I checked there were about a dozen members. And the way it works is there's an exclusive multiverse challenge mode linked to the guild that if you play it, you unlock boxes for the guild. So you collectively earn loot boxes for everyone in the guild. And I saw some pretty interesting challenges up there. Yeah, I saw some, like there's a boss, it's like a super boss that has insane amounts of health and cheats by reading your inputs and counter hitting you constantly. And there's a few other interesting things there. Maybe I could check that out. Maybe that could be a fun stream session, something different, right? Rather than just the constant multiplayer. Maybe I can, you know, do something like that for a stream. I don't know. And I definitely want to go back to Persona 5 at some point for another stream. So that may be in the next few days in the cards. Tuesday, I'm going to be checking out Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is the first PSVR game I'm playing since 2016, right? I haven't played PSVR at all. There really hasn't been anything out that's interested me. It's funny because there were a few games that I was at first interested in, but then when I looked into them more, I found out that they're not very good. Like this game Farpoint that came out last week. Everyone was, oh, this is going to be the game that you're going to want PSVR for. I talked to people who played it, and they're like, yeah, it's just like a generic FPS, except you can turn your head to see all around you and shoot things, but it's just a first-person shooter. It's not very interesting. And I'm like, seriously, what is the point of the PSVR? Like, there was all this hype for it, right? And there was a few games at launch that seemed interesting. By the way, some of the stuff that they promised at launch never came out. Like, they said there was going to be this Final Fantasy, what was it? Final Fantasy, 15... demo or whatever that was supposed to be in first person. That never came out. It never happened. And you know, really the last thing that I played in PSVR was what was it? Resident Evil 7. And even that I was like, it's not very good. It's like it's kind of the same as playing it with a controller. It's in a lot of ways it was a little bit more difficult to control. And I was like, you know, I'm not really I bought the freaking PSVR with the intention that I was going to fully experiment with it, and I played a bunch of games with it that first, you know, couple weeks. And since then, there really hasn't been an actual reason to go back to it. There, just as I predicted was going to happen, which I hate to say that I tend to be right on this stuff, but I usually tend to be right on this stuff. It seems to be a pretty worthless peripheral. No one's really developing games for it. The few games that are coming out for it aren't very impressive, you know. So, I am, you know, this coming week, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually going to be trying something in PSVR with Star Trek Bridge Crew, and we'll see how it goes. You know, like I said, I actually am a fan of Star Trek. I've been watching a lot of it. The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine in particular are my favorite series, and I've been watching those on Amazon Prime Video. And I guess we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't know too much about the game besides, you know, obviously you're simulating being on the bridge of the Enterprise or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe it'll be funny. It'll be like weird aliens and stuff doing silly stuff, and you gotta, you know, find ways to survive. I don't know. I don't know how it could possibly pan out as a game walking around the Enterprise. Huh. So yeah, so that'll be this week, and then of course later in the week, next week, Tekken 7. A week from, actually it's exactly a week from today, Tekken 7 releases. And so I'll be covering Tekken 7 just like I covered Injustice 2, where I'll, you know, if there's a story mode, I'll play through it. If there are character tutorials, I'll do those. I'll play with characters offline, then I'll take them online, etc. Ooh. It's actually kind of funny because Tekken was one of the first fighting games where online you could earn like accessories and stuff for your characters and equip it to it and change their physical appearance. That was one of the hooks of online multiplayer of the Tekken series. And now, well, I say online multiplayer, but the earlier Tekken games didn't even have it. Like Tekken, what was it, Tekken 5 or Tekken 6? I forget which one it was. Didn't even have online multiplayer, but it even had that capability where you could earn the accessories for your characters. But now every game's doing it, right? Every game tends to do it. Where you play online multiplayer, you unlock different assets, like Injustice in particular, adopting that formula. But it's funny because Tekken was one of the first series to ever do it. But yeah, it's crazy because I just did this really in-depth coverage of Injustice 2 for a little over a week, right? It was about a week and a half that I've been playing it almost non-stop. And now I'm going to be doing pretty much the same thing for Tekken. Because it's coming out soon, so I guess we'll see how it goes. You know, typically in Tekken, there's a few characters I like to play with, like Paul Phoenix, King. I really like the King and King style variant characters. Usually there's one or two Kings in every Tekken. Jack, even though I kind of suck with Jack, I like playing with Jack and the Williams sisters. But I don't know much about Tekken 7, even though the game's been out for 2 fucking years. I don't even know much about it. I've only seen a few people play it in arcades, actually. Because the game's been out in arcades for 2 years. That's how old the game is, and now it's finally coming to consoles. But I saw it in 2015 here at a local arcade in Seattle. There was an arcade that you know, had all kinds of fighting games that they rotated in and out near me. And I actually saw it in an arcade in person. I was like, wow, I wonder if this will be out soon. That was before Street Fighter V even came out. And then it just never came out. Just delay. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm excited to at least you know, check out the game and see how it plays and go from there. By the way, shout out to Dr. Zombius, who just resubscribed to the channel. Thank you, Dr. Zombius. Alright, everyone, so we're about to check out Friday the 13th and see if it's any good. Let's get started. So let me quickly go through my plugs, and then we'll get started, okay? Alright, so first off, folks, thank you for being here live on the stream to check out this new game with me. We'll see how it goes. Keep in mind, today is May 26th, which means there are 5 days left in the month of May for you to pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Patreon is a way for me to basically fundraise and allow me to continue to do daily live streams and on-demand videos on YouTube as a living, alright? I've used it since early 2015, and tons of positive things have come out of me doing Patreon, okay? Just tons. So many different games and things that I've been exposed to as a result of patron input that normally I would have probably either skipped, glossed over, or never experienced whatsoever. It really has allowed me to broaden my horizons. In addition, the funding that I got from Patreon allowed me to improve my business significantly by doing things like adding soundproofing foam to my office and getting a better microphone. All kinds of improvements that I've done over the years, alright? In regards to the patron funding. So thank you to anyone who has been a previous patron. Now you may say to yourself, well, why would I want to be a patron now? Well, first of all, your pledges earn you perks. For example, you can earn things such as getting text or verbal thank yous in my videos, getting premium forum access on thekingofhate.com, and being able to participate in monthly events. Okay. In addition, you could also get, your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King, or you could get a private Q&A video made. Any of those perks are available for different patron levels, okay? Now, in addition to all of that, like I said, there is a monthly goal, and this month in particular, the monthly goal is the return of the Indies Marathon. That's right, indie games. I love indie games. I rarely get to play them, though, because I'm usually so busy with major releases or whatever that I don't really get a chance to check out too many indie games. And I've been pretty, it's been a while, let's put it this way, since I've done anything with like an indie game or a marathon of indie games. I think, in fact, it's been almost half a year, if not longer. So that being said, if we hit the funding goal in the next 6 days for the month of May, and if you pledge $5 or more, I'll be doing a marathon of indie games coming up in the summer, and you'll be able to nominate and vote on what games are going to be participating in that marathon. It's going to be about 3 to 4 different games, okay? Previous games that have been played and turned into pretty fun content were games like Hotline Miami 1 and 2, as well as Undertale, To the Moon. There's been so many. I mean, there's probably dozens of indie games that I've played over, you know, the years, the 2.5 years that I've been using Patreon. So, I'm excited for that, and I hope we hit the goal, and I hope that it happens, okay? So, please, consider pledging if you have not. I just want to say thank you to everyone who is a current pledgee to my Patreon. Check it out at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Alright, hold on, I've got... Oh, wait a minute. So I restarted my laptop to make it run more quickly today. And, what the fuck is this? And so I don't have everything set up properly. I have to actually get Muxy up and running. Muxy is the program by which I track who's cheering and who's subbing and stuff. And I know I've seen some cheers and subs here this morning. I didn't give any shout-outs because I didn't have it set up fully. So let me do that right now before we get started. But as I get that set up, let's continue with the plugs, okay? Please check out my Teespring store at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. Some fun stuff there, ladies and gentlemen, including t-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, hoodies, women's shirts of all different designs. You know, we got the very popular skull design, but there's been many other designs submitted as well by viewers and fans. And, you know, if you buy anything there, not only are you getting a cool piece of merch that's actually pretty high quality, but it helps me out too, okay? So please give it a look if you haven't. Alright, I got the plugs up now here. Thanks to DSP Fan Dude, who did a 165-bit cheer. He says, what is the update on Patron's Choice? Last I checked, which I believe was yesterday, Danganronpa 2 is still in the lead for the Patron's Choice playthrough. Right now, patrons are voting on a game that I'm going to do a full playthrough of starting sometime next month, okay? So, it looks like it may be Danganronpa 2, but there's still other games like Jack 3 and stuff in the running, and they are just narrowly behind. So there's always a chance that, you know, things could totally flip on its head. We'll see, but for now, it is, I believe, Danganronpa 2 in the lead. Rain was here, did a 100-bit cheer and says, play the game. Okay, I will. I will play the game, don't worry. And Stomp2 did a 20-bit cheer and says, Phil, how are you doing today? Are you ready to get slaughtered by Jason? And the intro is apparently very loud. Well, I'm already booted at the menu and connected to the server, so we won't have to hear that intro unless for some reason I have to completely restart the game, which would suck, but hey, we'll see what happens. Alright, folks, so the final thing I want to say, and then we'll get started, I promise here, is if you would like to help support the stream, if you'd like these daily streams of gameplay to continue, if you like all the on-demand footage that I've been putting up on YouTube, if you like all the coverage I've been doing of Injustice 2 and Persona 5 and Prey and other games this month, and you want to see me continue to do this every single day, there's many ways that you can support the stream. You can either cheer with bits, you can sub to my channel here on Twitch, or you can leave a tip, okay? If you cheer with, I believe it's 50 bits or more, or if you sub to the channel, or if you tip me $2 or more, there will be an on-screen notification that will pop up on the stream, and I will give you an acknowledgement. As long as it is not some kind of a trolling message or something completely ridiculous or spammy or unrelated. I mean, that's why we have those thresholds. I mean, I would put the cheer notification at 10 bits, but then you'd get people who spam 10 bits and say silly stuff constantly. So that's why I have these thresholds to kind of keep it under control, all right? But I will give you a shout-out acknowledgement, and, you know, it definitely has allowed me to continue doing this full-time. For the past 3 months, ever since YouTube ad revenue fell through the toilet, it is your support here daily on stream that has majorly, excuse me, allowed me to continue doing this, you know, and I love doing it. I want to keep doing this. It's been incredibly a positive experience since this whole thing kind of shifted to more a streaming experience than a YouTube on-demand experience, all right? So please consider cheering, subbing, or tipping. If you're a little curious about tipping, I know it's a little bit different than the other methods. If you look below my stream here on my Twitch page, there's a little section there that actually says tips. And if you click on that section, there's a picture of me posing with Pokemon. If you click on that, you can either tip me anonymously, or you can have a personalized message if you'd like to say something here on the stream, okay? Yeah, any of those methods work, and any of those methods help me out. So thank you to everyone who has been doing this. I definitely appreciate it, okay? Even though there are some people here who daily come just to kind of troll. Like, for example, there's this guy every day who comes in under different names and tips me $2 tips and says the most ridiculous things. In fact, oh, look at this. He actually tipped today, which I didn't even realize. He tipped me $2 and he said, have you ever taken the drug dihydrogen monoxide? It's very powerful and can help with different illnesses. I don't know what he's talking about. This is what I mean. He leaves these weirdest... Dude, he just left me another tip. Oh my god. He left me another $2 tip and he said, is it true you adopted... No, he spelled it wrong. He said, is it true you adapted a Norwegian boy? Oh my god. Yes. In fact, I have entire families of Norwegians at my house now. I don't know if you're aware of this. I've taken in many Norwegians. But yeah, this guy has been doing this constantly. He leaves $2 tips and says like the most random stuff. It's so weird. Oh my goodness. Darth Vader Viking actually is Norwegian. He says, I live in Phil's basement. Wow. But anyway, folks, if you cheer, sub, or tip me, it helps out tremendously. Thank you to everyone who has done so up to now. I appreciate it. And I think that is it for the pre-stream. Wow. That was amazing. That was a good one. All right, everyone. Thank you, folks, for being here for the premiere stream. I appreciate it. It is now time to begin. Oh, shout out to Wolf of the Dawn who did a 10-bit cheer. I says, I wonder if there will be a cameo from Freddy or an MK character such as Scorpion or Sub-Zero Kappa Face. Okay, everybody. Thank you, and now let us finally begin. Let's see how Friday the 13th is as a game. We're about to find out. Here we go.